Hello, today I'm gonna find out how fast I can checkmate Martin with every single piece. And yes, this includes the king and the pawn. And the timer starts now. Okay, game number 1 against Martin. I'm gonna play e4 here. Martin no longer falls for Scholar's Mate, but I'm still gonna bring the queen out early just because, you know, bringing the queen out early, the queen is very powerful and obviously Martin's very dumb. So those two kind of go hand in hand to give me the best chance of winning. Okay, attacks my bishop. I'm just going to move the bishop back to b3. If he takes, it's fine. Our rook gets the a file. Going to develop the knight here. And just look to start an attack somewhere. Okay, I'm going to immediately play knight to d5. It's not the best move, obviously, but I'm able to take some pieces. And it may not actually be as easy to checkmate Martin in the beginning as it will be like later on. Just because of the fact that he's now like way better at chess. Okay, so I'm going to play d4 here. Try to get the bishop out, attack the knight. Let's attack the knight straight away. I'm not going to be playing the most principled chess, and yeah. He plays h6, blunders a knight. I'm going to take the knight. He's probably going to take back because he's programmed to take back. Because that's what Martin does, I guess. Okay, we're going to push this pawn. Okay, if I push this pawn and attack the rook, the queen defends. So it wouldn't even make any sense, right? So what I will do is probably just get the bishop in the game. And just castle on the queen side, get the rook in, or not. Actually, yeah, let's castle on the queen side and just try to create some attacks here. Now I'm going to play queen to g4, attacking his weak e6 pawn, and maybe get the knight in and start some attack there. Or we could take this bishop, that's free. Didn't even see that. Thank you, chess highlights. Okay, we'll take the rook, that's free. King goes there, yup. Now I could take the queen. But I feel like it's faster if maybe we don't and just kind of get the pieces off the board. Okay, he moves the rook. I'll attack the rook with my bishop while simultaneously winning a pawn. I'll take that rook. And, okay, he takes back with the pawn. I'll go here, attack the pawn. See what happens. Okay, he defends, but I'll attack it twice with my knight. Now my knight and my queen attack the pawn. He doesn't defend. So we're able to take this with a check. And can we get a checkmate? Is this a checkmate? No, because the king runs here, but I think it leads to a checkmate. So we're going to see what, okay, that's check. I think this is checkmate, right? No, because then the king runs here. But then that's checkmate. So that's a check and that should be checkmate. Okay, so we got checkmate with the queen. Okay, let's try and see if we can get it with the rook this game. The rook and the queen are probably the most straightforward ways to get checkmates against Martin. I'm going to block with the bishop to keep the queen on the board. The queen is going to be my best asset for like doing this quickly. Going to get the knight out to f3. Maybe this castle. And probably just attack the queen. Okay, he plays c5. I can no longer attack the queen with knight d4. So I'm going to play knight g5, attack the queen. Hopefully he blunders. Okay, he doesn't end up blundering, but I'm just gonna defend the bishop, or sorry, the knight with pawn to d3, defend the knight with the bishop, and attack the queen. So I'm gonna attack the queen with knight to d5. Okay, the queen has to go all the way back, of course, because if the queen went back any other place, I would have got a fork on c7, and I guess Martin's smart enough to see that, even though that doesn't make any sense because he's as low rated as he is. I'm going to play bishop h5, trying to get my queen into the action. Okay, he does actually make a queen move. Queen to a5. Wait, what am I doing? I shouldn't be trying to bring my queen in. I should be trying to use my knights. Okay, that's a bit of a misplay by me, but I'm going to play b4. It's probably not a good move. Okay, he does end up just bringing the queen all the way back. So I'm going to have to be a bit strategic here. I'm going to bring the rook over. This knight is defended, so I'm not even worried about that. This knight is a bit of a problem. I want to play this check. But obviously there's a bunch of stuff you can block with. So what I'm going to do is bring the knight back to maybe just e4. And just see if we can get a rook in the action. Okay, we're just going to end up taking here, honestly. He's probably going to take back. Yup. And I could take here, but obviously that just loses the knight. So I'm going to start bringing my queen in. I'm not too worried about losing to Martin. I mean, it can happen if I am not careful, but the chance of it happening is very low. So it's not something that I'm going to be too worried about. Now, I want to get a rook checkmate. So I'm going to start by, I guess, taking this pawn that's free. Now the bishop's pinned. And my knight is just kind of suffocating him a bit. Okay, now he has an escape square on d8. So what can I play here? Maybe bishop here. Maybe get a bishop checkmate. Bishop here. Let's play that. And just see how much squares we can cut off. I could... Okay, what can I do here? I could move the knight. If I move the knight, let's say like here. Okay, that's probably not a decent idea. Maybe I'll just get the queens off the board. He's gonna take it back. Yup. I'm gonna bring the other rook over. Yeah, this is not me playing as I don't think I'm playing this as what did he just take? He took a pawn. I don't think I'm playing this as well as I probably should be playing it. But I'm gonna move and give a discovered check somewhere. Maybe like here, win the knight. Should be winning the knight because even if he moves here, yeah, we're just gonna win the knight. Bishop takes, we take back. If that happens, doesn't end up doing that. And I can take here, that's just a fork unless he takes back. And then I take, okay, yeah, I take here. So the rooks are still on the board, the bishops are still on the board. Okay, that's just a rook. I'm gonna take that. He can take back, but then I can probably get a rook checkmate somewhere here. Like rook here, up here, here. But I kind of want to do it a bit faster. So I'm gonna play this. And then just cut Martin off. Okay, so I'll cut him off. Okay, I wanted to cut him off and make him have to go back to 8th rank, but I'm going to play this check anyways. And okay, he came up, which is a bit of a problem, so I'll play this rook checkmate, or sorry, this rook check, and probably just keep checking him until I get checkmate. Where is his escape square? His escape square is there. So what can I play here? What can I play here? What can I play here? Yeah, I think I just have to move the rook. It's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, this bishop's kind of strong. This bishop's a bit strong. Yeah, it's kind of rough here. I'm not playing the best moves I could be playing. Okay, I'm going to double attack c6. Okay, he does defend it, but not properly, so I'm going to take here. Let's just get the rooks off the board, honestly. I'm probably going to end up winning this. He hopefully will not move the... Okay, he moves there. But yeah, this is completely fine. It's just a bit too slow for my liking, obviously. Okay, that's just a free bishop. And what I'm going to do now is just cut Martin off. Or maybe I could try and get one of the more difficult checkmates. Like the rook. Or no, sorry, no, it's not the rook. The pawn or the knight. But I'll have to see. I'm just going to cut him off for a bit. Okay, he moves back to the 8th rank. I should have probably cut him off more, but that's fine. If he... Okay, I'll probably just push here so he has no more pushes. Okay, maybe I'll try and get the pawn checkmate because that might be a bit difficult to get. So let's try that. How am I going to do that though? I guess I could push here, 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 or maybe even the king checkmate. Hold up, maybe I can get the king checkmate because that might be the most difficult of the bunch. Okay, so I think I'm going to try and get the king checkmate. It's going to be a bit tricky, but I'm going to try it. Okay, king goes here. I guess I'll go... I need to defend this rook. Okay, now I can go here. I don't want to go here. So I'll go here. This should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to just play a waiting move so I can put my king here. Okay, that's pretty solid. Okay, that's okay. I just take there, and now I just keep pushing until I get like a rook, and then I move my king out of the way and deliver checkmate. Okay, so that is a rook. He has to move, and then okay, that's the king. Let's just go again. So we got the queen and the king, the royal couple. So we're moving on to probably whatever we can try and get here. I should probably write these down because I'm kind of going off of my brain right now, and my memory may slip me. But we're just gonna keep going we're just gonna keep going. I apologize if I'm messing up my words a bit. I'm obviously trying to speedrun this, and so far we are about 10 minutes into this, so we have quite a ways to go. There are 6 games at the very least that need to be played for me to accomplish this goal. We're gonna kick the knight immediately. The knight goes back. I'm going to bring my knight into the center. Hopefully he takes. Okay, he doesn't take, but that's just a free pawn. I'm not even too worried about this because then it becomes pinned. That's also a free pawn, so I'll take there. Actually, maybe it's not a free pawn because then he can take here. Okay, he realized that it wasn't a free pawn because if takes, I would just take here with check and I'd be able to retreat the knight. So I'm going to take here first. If he takes here, yeah, I can just take here. And if he obviously takes the knight, I can take the rook. Or if he doesn't do that, we'll take the rook. So I think now we're going to try and get the pawn checkmate. Yeah, or okay, so this is pointless because obviously we've already gotten the queen checkmate. So I'm going to try and get the pawn checkmate or the knight checkmate because those might be a bit difficult. That's a free bishop. I'm going to take that, take the bishop on g4. He's attacking my knight. I'm not too worried because if he takes, obviously, I get checked with the rook. So I'm going to take here. Okay, yeah, that's a checkmate, right? No, because the king can go here. Okay, yeah, that's not a checkmate quite yet. The king can run here. That is a bit disappointing. I could win the queen actually here. So now I feel like maybe just getting the rook checkmate might be just like a pretty decent idea here. Sorry for stuttering my words so much. As I said, yeah, I'm trying to speed run this. Yeah, that's a rook checkmate. So yeah, so far we've gotten the king, the queen, and the rook, the royal trio, if you will. So now, now I'm going to try with the pawn. Yes, the pawn. This game I'm going to try and get the checkmate with the pawn. Okay, so pieces have come off the board already. That's not too ideal, as I've stated. I'm going to block with the queen. You know what? It's fine. It's Martin. Like, obviously, this run is not incredibly optimized. In the future, I might redo this idea. If I can see that, you know, I have the ability to checkmate him faster. But as it stands right now, I am not doing too well in this. I'm just going to get the pieces off the board because Martin is pretty decent at the openings, but in the end games is where he really starts to show his true 250 elo rating. So I'm just going to put this down into an end game and honestly just win because it's Martin. Yeah, I'm going to attack the knight. He doesn't defend the knight. We'll take the knight, of course. Wait, I'm trying to remember. I checkmated with the king, the queen, and the rook, right? That's what I checkmated with, right? Yeah. So now we are going to try and get the pawn and then save the bishop and the knight for last. So what we're going to do is just attack his pieces and just use our king. That's just a free rook. Actually, he blunders 2 rooks in the same move. That's actually quite impressive, I must say, from Martin. I'll take this rook. We're just going to take all the pieces off the board and just try and be careful not to get the wrong checkmate. So yeah, I'm going to bring the rook up the board probably. Just start taking all his pawns. And we should have a decent canvas to just start like being able to give the checkmate that we want. Okay, we're going to block the king off first and foremost. Maybe just take this. Now the king is very limited in his movement. And we can start trying to get our pawn checkmate. Or even the knight checkmate. No, let's see if we can get the pawn checkmate first. So we're going to bring the king up the board. Okay, that's a check. We'll just take. Yeah, Martin's moves are very, very limited right now. I'm just going to take both of these pawns. And just, okay, I don't want any doubling of my pawns because I'm going to use my kingside pawns to get the pawn checkmate. So don't want any doubling of my pawns quite yet. Actually, I want to keep him. Yeah, I actually want to keep him like on this side of the board, on the right side. So I'm going to use my rooks to kind of zone him out. And then move my king over and get the pawn checkmate. So the least amount of moves he has possible is the best it is for me. I'm just going to pre-move a bit here. There's no risk of a draw because he always has a move to go to. And the 50 move rule can't happen because obviously I'm pushing pawns. So now the question is, how do I get this checkmate here? I guess I could push these. There's no worry of that. I push these. He has to go here. And this should be a checkmate. No, it's not a checkmate because he can then go here. Okay, I see what to do now. I have to go here. And then check. He only has 1 legal move. And then checkmate, right? Let me calculate this out a bit. So check. He only has, he has 2 legal moves. He can move here. So I need to cut him off there somehow. What? Okay, maybe if I go here, then he goes here, then check. And that's checkmate. Wait, hold up. Why is it taking me so long to calculate? If I go here, he has to go here. I give a check. He has this, which I don't want actually. So I need to give a check here, which is gonna cause him to go here. And then check. Oh, and that's checkmate, right? Because he can't go, or he can go here. So maybe if I cut him off here. Okay, then I make a waiting move. Okay, now this check. He has to go. What if he goes here? Then this is checkmate, right? And if he goes here, that's checkmate. Let's try that. If I mess up this, I'm going to be very, very, very embarrassed. But this should be a checkmate, right? Like, I don't see how this isn't a checkmate. Okay, yeah, we got it. So that's a checkmate. So now we're going to be moving on to the bishop and then probably the knight. We are 15 minutes into this. So it has taken quite a while. I'm pretty sure this can be optimized a lot faster. And as I said, I probably will try this again in the future. Once I have, gotten way better at chess. I'm only 1300 currently. So yeah, gonna bring the bishop out. Gonna have to remember to keep the bishops on the board. Actually, it doesn't even matter because I could probably get to an endgame and just promote my pawns to bishops and knights. So that's not even a worry of mine. So yeah, but I am gonna try and keep the bishops on the board because it would be cooler if I obviously, got a checkmate with the starting bishops and not the bishops that were promoted from pawns. That's just a free pawn. We're going to take that pawn on b5, see what he does. Moves the king over. That is very interesting. I'm going to get my knight in. Actually, no, that's a blunder. I'm going to push h4 and then get the knight in. Okay, that's just a blunder by him because I can take with the knight. Queen cannot take back because it's defended by the rook, so we're not even worried about that. And, okay, can I get a knight checkmate here? How could I get a knight checkmate here? Yeah, knight checkmates are kind of tricky. At least for me, I feel like it'd be very easy for me to stalemate when I'm trying that. I'm just going to take here. I still have a bishop on the board. But yeah, for the sake of this, since I can't really find any checkmates, I'm probably just going to take all of his pieces and then promote to a bishop and try that. Okay, that's a pawn push. That's pretty scary, but I could go here. I could go queen to g3 and he can't take because of the pin, so we'll play that. He can't take because of the pin, and now I'm double attacking. So I can take with my queen here. If he takes, I can take with the bishop. Yup, and now we have a decent position. This knight can probably get in somehow. Yeah, when he takes back, the knight gets this square, or it doesn't. So we'll take on e6. Hopefully he takes back. Okay, but yeah, now my knight can't get in anymore, which is kind of sad. What can I do here? I could give this check. King runs over here, so I need to block this square somehow. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna try and trade pieces off and get to an endgame and just promote. Okay, that's a check I can give. Should I give that check though? If I give this check, he can run here. So maybe I give this check first, and then he goes here. And then this is checkmate, right? Hopefully. Because if I give this check, let's give this check first and just see what happens. Okay, he goes here. Okay, but that's not a checkmate anymore. Oh my gosh, I've misplayed this severely. Okay, but his king's movement is severely limited, which is a good thing. So if I could get my knight here, I think that would be a checkmate. Actually, no, because he covers this square. And the only square for the knight that can cover both this square and this square is this square. But it's defended by the pawn, which is a problem here. Yeah, this is problematic. I wish I could have got the checkmate like that. Maybe I could. I'll have to review the analysis. But yeah, I need to get a knight move that checks the king and attacks this square. And the only move is here. But obviously, as I said, the pawn is here. So I'm going to attack the pawn. Hopefully, he doesn't end up taking this knight. That'd be very bad. Okay, he moves the knight. That's obviously bad for me. But maybe if I just take, he doesn't take back. Okay, he doesn't end up taking back, but I'm not even too worried about that. I'm just gonna see what I can do here. Okay, I can take this with the knight, so I'm gonna do that. He takes back. I don't see anything with my knight here. I'm I'm just gonna take all of his pieces and just promote to a knight and get a checkmate that way. Because at the current, okay, I don't want to give a stalemate. That would be quite embarrassing. Can you checkmate with the rook and the knight? You know that I don't even know if that's possible. Okay, so what can I do here? Let's attack the knight. Hopefully he takes. Okay, he just sacrificed a knight. That's typical Martin move. Typical Martin move. What can I say? So now what I'm gonna try and do is just, I guess, push this pawn and make it a knight and try and get a checkmate somehow like that. Okay, we're not even too worried about that. I'm gonna play rook to d7. We'll just take this. Actually, we'll take with the pawn. Keep the king's mobility less limited. Okay, we can get the knight. Maybe the bishop's better. Let's try the bishop actually. Actually, no, that was a mistake because this is a dark square. Okay, it's fine though. It's fine. Maybe I can give this check. King has to go here. No, that doesn't even work. What am I doing? I should have made the knight. Okay, I'm gonna bring the knight over here. Kind of just limit the king's mobility. King goes over here. Now if I go here, that's a stalemate. So maybe if I go here, how do I do this? I'm trying to think this one through very carefully here. I want to obviously make sure the king has lots of space to move. Okay, I'm going to start by limiting the king's mobility a little bit more by playing rook to f7. Okay, rook to f7. King only has this square now, which means that if I can find a way to cut the king off while he's moving over, then I can get a checkmate somehow. So I'm going to push my king up. Okay, maybe that's not even the right idea, honestly. Okay, so if I go here, that doesn't do anything, but this, do I have any checks here? This, he can still go here. Where does the knight need to be? The knight needs to be here to give a check, but I would have to cut off this square then somehow, whilst also not checkmating him. Okay, maybe here. Okay, yeah, I am not seeing how to do this right now. I'm not going to lie, my brain is not working because I have a bishop and a knight. So what do I even do here? This is tricky. Maybe if I just make a bunch of knights, I can just get checkmate by accident. Let's try that. Honestly, yeah, this is so embarrassing right now. This is so embarrassing. Okay, maybe here and then there's a check. He goes here. Oh, he takes the rook. Okay, yeah, I give up. Okay, I don't give up, but that was very embarrassing. That should not have happened. Yeah, now his king is out. This is a disaster. Oh no, why'd I do that? That could have been a checkmate if I wasn't careful. Okay, he does have this square always. So I guess I could just start checking him with my knight. Like here. Okay, this is a disaster. This has become a disaster. So when you go, okay, I know what to do. No, I did not mean to do that. That was a mouse slip. Okay, we're gonna run it back. I made a mouse slip there. That was very embarrassing. But yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can play this one a little bit better by just getting a bunch of my pieces out and just making this into an endgame and trying to get the checkmate, because that was very embarrassing. That shouldn't have happened. That really shouldn't have happened. My mouse just decided to not work properly. Okay, that's just a pawn, I think, right? Probably not. Yeah, that's just a pawn. No biggie. We'll take this. Actually, no, he can take here now. But he doesn't. It's Martin. Who are we fooling? It's Martin, guys. Come on, like, did you really think he was gonna find that? Like, come on, guys, come on. Like, be so for real. Okay, now I'll attack both pawns here. Yeah, that really shouldn't have happened. That's a free rook, so I'm not gonna toss that up. Okay, let's give a check here. Hopefully win the bishop maybe. King moves over, that's good. I'm gonna go here, get the knight in, and then this is a checkmate. What? I just blended my queen to Martin. Okay, that's pretty embarrassing. Now I can't even move this knight. This video is slowly taking a turn for the worse. I don't even know if anyone's watching this, honestly, because my retention is pretty bad. So maybe there's a chance no one's watching this whatsoever. But hopefully Martin blunders his queen, and I can just win. Cause yeah, this is taking way longer than it should. Hopefully I don't even lose this game. That would be quite sad. Okay, that's a check. It doesn't do anything. I'm gonna push my pawn, try and get my bishop in the game. Yeah, okay. Oh, he blundered his queen. Okay, we can probably win this. Or not, we can obviously win this, but getting the right checkmate is gonna be problematic. I'm gonna give a check here. Okay, that's a pretty decent move. I'll move out of the way, take the knight, and just promote a bunch of pawns and just see what I can do here. Yeah, this has taken a lot longer than it should because of my terrible playing in conjunction with my mouse deciding it doesn't want to work properly. But yeah, we're gonna be fine here. It's just that this video is probably gonna be like an hour long, which is not ideal. I'm gonna gobble up the pawns. Well, I have a rook. I didn't even realize. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. Gonna just take this. Doubles the pawns, but I don't even care about that at this point. Yeah. This was a disaster of a game. I can't even lie. But I'm just gonna promote to a bunch of knights. Yeah, the knights are pretty tricky, honestly, in my book. But I'm gonna make a knight. Okay, I meant to make a knight. You're gonna have to believe me on that one. Okay, he has this square, so I'm not even worried about that. But now I'm gonna make a knight. Okay, maybe I should have cut him off a bit more. Maybe with this? Yeah, let's just cut him off a bit more and just get our knight checkmate. And I'm gonna save the bishop for last because not really too sure how to do that. Okay, we'll make a knight here. And how do I get this knight checkmate is the real question. I could give this check. That's not a check. What am I saying? If I go here, maybe I just cut him off somehow, give this check. I have to be careful not to give an accidental checkmate. This is a check. Maybe I cut him off here. Then he only has this square. Okay, what am I doing? Why can't I find this checkmate? I need to force him. Okay, I need to force him to like mess up somehow. What am I saying? If I give this check, that's checkmate. No, because he can run here. Or he runs here. He currently has no legal moves, but I can't give a check with the knight, so it wouldn't even make sense to play that. If I play this, then he has legal moves. Okay, he goes here, and I think this is checkmate, right? No, because then he runs here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is really bad. This is really bad. If I go here, that's a stalemate. What am I doing? Okay, maybe I can get the bishop. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh no. How do I get the bishop checkmate? You know what? As long as I don't get a draw, I'll be happy. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing here. Let me give a check. Okay, he runs. I think this is checkmate, right? Okay, that's checkmate. Okay, let's go. Let's go. So we only have the knight left. Let's go. We can do this. It's currently been what, 28 minutes. I think I can get a sub 30. Come on, like I think we can get the sub 30 if we play this very, very carefully here. Like there has to be some tactic that I can do. I'm going to play knight to d5, attack the queen. Okay, he sacks the bishop. That's good. And hopefully he doesn't take, okay, yeah, he doesn't defend the queen. Let's go. We can take that. Now we'll bring the knight in. Then we can get the queen out, probably. That's a check. I'm not too worried. I can move my king up to e3. I really want to get this sub 30. Come on, guys. We can do this. Let's get the queen out. Attack the knight. Pushes the pawn. Okay, where's my attack here? How do I get a knight checkmate? How do I get a checkmate with the knight here? Okay, let's push this pawn, defend the knight, get ready for the bishop to possibly come out. Get the bishop out, try to get this bishop out. Okay, that's a check. I'm not too worried. I can take this. Oh no, now I don't have a knight. If he takes here, okay, he doesn't take. So I'm going to keep this knight nice and safe because I need this knight to give a checkmate. Okay, that is a bishop move. Not too worried about that. Gonna look to get the bishops off the board. Ah, crap. I don't think I'm fast enough. I don't think I'm going to be fast enough. I'll take here. He's going to take back. I'm going to get the knight in. Maybe I don't think I'm fast enough. Am I fast enough? Come on, where's my checkmate? Okay, I'll get the rook in. Maybe get this check. Okay, that's a check. Okay, then the knight can come in probably. Okay, no, he runs there. Oh no. Oh no, okay, I'll move the king so I can get this check. Okay, that's a check. King has to go here. Can I cut him off in a way that, oh man, this is a check. Let's go check here. King here. Check. Need to be careful not to checkmate. That's not checkmate. What? No, he can take back. Oh man, yeah, we're not getting a sub 30. We are not getting a sub 30 because now we're gonna have to promote. Now we're gonna have to promote and get a knight. Yeah, this was terribly played by me. I completely messed this up. Yeah, this was a horrendous game by me. I cannot lie. I am quite embarrassed by this game. But let's see if we can even get the knight checkmate in the first place. Because in the previous game, I think I was just struggling so hard to get it. But we're gonna see what we can do here. We're gonna take this pawn, and obviously we have to promote. So that's what we're gonna try and do. Give a check here. Maybe just get the rook off the board, yeah. Then we just make a knight. The F rook cuts the king off. We're just gonna promote as fast as we can and try and get the checkmate with the knight. Honestly, maybe if I make as much knights as possible, that makes it a bit easier. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to promote to a knight. Yeah, let's just make as many knights as possible. So this is like as easy as it could. As easy as it can be. I definitely did not play this challenge as best as I could. Let's keep it a buck. Okay, let's just cut the king off, honestly. Okay, he takes there. We're not too worried about that. And yeah, let's just give checkmate. Okay. Get the rook in. That's a check. Okay, no, this is a check. Okay, yeah, that's a checkmate. Okay, we did it. Stop the watch. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Okay, it took 32 minutes to checkmate Martin with every single piece, including the king and the pawn. That is quite embarrassing, but we did it. We got it done. I can't lie. I did have a mouse slip there, so that is why it took a little bit longer than it should have. But overall, I can't even say not too bad because that's pretty bad. The mouse slip definitely cost us like at least probably 3 or 4 minutes there. But yeah,